Previously on Naomi Season 2. It's Shiipty and welcome back to the channel. And I am, first of all, so sorry for this. I truly am. This episode has been in a long time coming, and it's just been a factor of reasons. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, from just me getting to a state of feeling comfortable about the topics I'm about to discuss in the next coming episodes. And also life was just lifing for me, honestly. I can't even fault myself on that. I found out that I was pregnant right around the time that I was planning the next episode for this series, and so it was just a lot going on, but I am back and I'm happy to report that I have 3 pre-recorded episodes and just wrapping up the last finishing touches on the machinima, and we will be back in full swing with Naomi. But we are here with Angelo and Naomi. As you guys could tell by the machinima in the beginning, he recently found out that he actually has a sister, and he doesn't have just one sister, he has 3 sisters. And he also found out that his father has been looking for him for quite some time now. So Angelo and Naomi are just in here laying on the bed, and she's trying to help her man get to a comfortable state of just mentally preparing himself to go out and meet this woman again to get further information. She also mentioned that she was going to be bringing her older sister, who is Angelo's sister from his dad's previous relationship, so the one right before his mother. This is where that child comes from. So it's just a lot of strings to connect, but I'm definitely going to be filling you guys in on all of those. But yeah, Naomi is trying her best because Angelo, guys, he has never been so afraid in his entire life of something, and he has kept his guard up about his father and just everything involving his father for a really long time. And so he's not really prepared for what emotions he's going to experience and also how he's going to feel entirely. Like, are they going to want him to meet his dad? He doesn't know if he's ready for that. And also, there's someone else who has a few mixed emotions about this situation. So Isabella herself obviously should have some kind of feeling because she was the one involved with this man, and she is very much so upset with him for many reasons. You guys will get all the pieces and detail in the next few episodes, as well as to what exactly happened regarding Isabella and her ex-partner, aka Angela's father. I have a machinima coming out, as I have been mentioning, and that is going to kind of explain what exactly happened all those years ago and why he is not involved. But yes, Isabella, she's very upset. She cannot believe that he has kind of resurfaced after all this time. You know, she has been going about her life without a care in the world, not thinking about this man, and just kind of keeping it closed off and never discussing the topic ever again. But being at the wedding venue, it was under her name. So I think that's why Cadence, Angela's sister, had no idea that he was going to be the one showing up for the wedding reservation. It was, again, under Isabella's name, and she had no information regarding Isabella. So that's why she was kind of taken back when Angelo did appear. But yes, she is very upset because yesterday was supposed to be such a good day involving her and her son and her future daughter-in-law, and yet here we are uncovering past baggage, and she is furious, uncomfortable, all of the emotions. She wishes that she could just tell all these people just to F off, essentially. But she knows that Cadence has nothing to do with this. It's truly just William. So we are gonna just wait a little bit, let Angelo decide what he wants to do. And unfortunately, Isabella's just gonna have to step back and let him make that decision. You know, she doesn't want her son to get hurt, but he's a grown man and he is perfectly capable of making smart choices. We're getting ready to head out the door, and Angelo just has to let out just a little bit more frustration. He's like, Naomi, what if this just goes terribly wrong? And she's going to have a seat next to him. And she's just like, honey, I don't know. I don't want to tell you something because I myself have no idea what's going to go on. And he's like, maybe I should just go into this with a positive mindset. You know, I'm at least going to meet my sisters. I don't think I want to meet my dad, but at least I can meet them, right? And she's like, you're right. And you guys might really hit it off. You might find that having these women in your life kind of fills a void of connection and family to your father without truly having to connect to him. And he's like, you're right, Naomi. I'm very worried about all of this. And she's like, I totally understand, you know, from just the perspective of this being so sudden. But Angelo pulls out his phone and he realizes that his sister is texting him. It's so weird to say, right? My sister is texting me. And she's like, yeah, but what'd she say? And he's like, well, she said she's ready to go. And Naomi's like, are you ready to go, Angelo? Are you ready to meet your other sister? And guys, look at his face. I don't know if Angelo himself is truly ready for this at all, but he so badly wants to connect these dots and figure things out. And so he's going to go ahead and go along with it. But oh man, this is going to be an interesting situation. So we are here at the meetup spot, and Angelo and Naomi are standing over here to the side. He keeps glancing over because he can see the two women that are his sisters. Like, that's so weird to say, right? But we're gonna pan over and we are gonna meet them officially first. So over here we have Jenna, and then we have Cadence. Cadence is the woman from yesterday from the wedding venue. She is Angelo's youngest sister, and then Jenna is actually Angelo's oldest sister, one of the two. So before we even have Angelo come over here, I just want to give you guys a little bit of background on the family tree. So before Angelo's father was with his mother, he had a previous wife, which he had two children with, Jenna and her younger sister. Jenna decided to stay with her father because she just really understood where he was coming from, and she wanted to reside here in Tartosa with him versus staying in Windedburg with their mother and her sister. And so her other sister, which is the younger one, she stayed with the mom to help her take care of her and everything, because there's a little bit more tea to that, which you guys will see in the machinima. And then when William kind of remarried and met his now wife, he had Cadence with her. So there is a kind of larger age gap between Cadence and Angelo, and also his oldest sister, which is so crazy. I can't believe I'm saying this right now. I can't believe that this is actually coming out on the channel officially. Like, I've been waiting to tell you guys about this, but yes, he does have an older sister. She is much older than he is. She doesn't have any children or anything, and I think that she's recently divorced, but yeah, she takes care of her nephew, which Cadence has one son from a relationship, and she wouldn't have it any other way. But little does she know, she has another niece, or has a niece, which is Alicia. And oh my gosh, this is a lot. But Angela's just looking off, and Naomi complimented him. She's like, "You look so good." And he's like, "Baby, you look great too." And she's like, "Are you ready?" And he's like, "I guess I'm as ready as I'm gonna be." So we're gonna go over here together. I'm just gonna get them to walk over to this area. And oh my goodness, I cannot believe this is happening. Look, Naomi's more excited than he is. Oh, she's taking the long way. It's okay. But Cadence notices that Angela has walked into the table, and oh my gosh, did you guys see his older sister look at him? Jenna, she was just taking it all in. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta look really quickly." She's nervous, but I'm gonna have Cadence get up and hug Angelo and just greet him. She's like, "Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you again. I was worried you weren't coming." He's like, "No, I'm sorry. We were just running a little behind." But he keeps checking his phone because his mom is curious about how everything is going. But oh, look, she went in for another hug, and Jenna so bad wants to be involved, but she doesn't want to rush anything. But he's like, "Naomi should be over here shortly. I think she just had to run to the restroom really fast." But we're gonna go ahead and have a seat. Naomi actually did go home, but let's go ahead and bring her back here. We'll pretend she just went to the bathroom. But Cadence is just telling a very outrageous story. She's like, "Oh no, trust me, I understand." Like, it's so easy to get lost here. There's so many different mazes and loops and everything like that. So she can take her time. But she's been checking her phone too, because their father actually really wanted to be present during this meeting. And did you guys see Jenna? Jenna was looking at Angela. She's like, "Wow, he really looks like Dad." But they didn't want to overwhelm him, bringing Dad here. And plus, they didn't know how Angelo felt about all that. So they told him, "Hey, I think you should sit this one out. I don't think you should really come." And he's like, "Fine. I really have been waiting to meet my son. I cannot believe that he's here and he's so close, and yet I can't even speak to him." But again, they just wanted to respect Angela's boundaries and everything. So yeah, but I do think that Jenna is going to politely interrupt, and she's gonna brighten his day, and she's gonna say, "I cannot believe I'm meeting my little brother." Like, she's so just stuck in this moment, and I can't even express how happy she probably feels right now. But she's like, "It's so nice to meet you." He's like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you too." I have to say, it is a little weird having an older sister and a younger sister. I didn't get to really tease you guys growing up, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm sure you would have gave us a run for our money." But they're just gonna chit chat a little bit and discuss everything, and I'm sure that it's gonna come up. Angela's probably curious as to why he never heard anything about all of these family members trying to reach out and connect with him, and so he's just gonna ask that question. He's like, "So you guys mentioned that you've been looking for me for a while." And they say, "Yeah, Dad, actually, he was constantly contacting your agency." But Cadence interrupts, and she goes, "Yeah, but apparently the request for finding your father got shut down because of just spams and everybody saying that they were your dad. I think they had mentioned you got tired of it and you weren't interested in anymore." And Angela thinks back, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, that did happen." Because you guys don't know about this, and Naomi doesn't even really know about this, because Angela doesn't like to discuss this topic at all, just because of how everything went. But at one point in time, Angelo had some money, and it was a big sum of money. He was wanting and willing to meet his dad because he just wanted to connect those dots. And his mom was in a point in her life where she was okay with that. And so he put out a reward, and little did the people who knew about the, the terms and the conditions, once they showed up to the studio claiming to be his father, he did a DNA test, and all of which came back negative. And so by the time that William actually got wind of this, this famous photographer looking for his long lost father, Angelo was so tired of all of the spams and the people who were falsely saying they were his father. It was just too much. It was a lot on his heart and a lot on his mother as well. And so he just decided to tell his assistant that whoever contacted him regarding father things or just anything, just don't tell me about it. He completely shut down, and he started just taking on clients through people that he already knew and, making his own bookings for photography. And so there really was no way for William to get in touch with Angelo, and personal emails and things like that were not public. It was just his work email. So even if William reached out via email or tried to reach out to Angelo, it would have to go through his assistant first. And she usually very thoroughly scans everything. And so, yeah, he never knew that all these people were looking for him, his sisters, his father's new wife, every single person was trying to get in touch with Angelo. But they just went ahead and explained that to him. And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry if I wasted you guys' time and years and everything. And she's like, no, it's okay. We really wanted to find you. We have missed you. And, we heard so much about just things about you on the TV and, just reading about you online. And she's like, yeah, I heard that you're like this famous photographer and you travel everywhere and you photograph like famous people. You're married to this model. Oh my gosh. She's like, I cannot believe this. Naomi's like, oh, she's talking about me. But they are kind of starstruck, but also just happy to meet their brother. They're just word vomiting everything. And Angelo is just excited to be here. I think that meeting his father may have been a little bit much, but getting to know his sisters is something that he's comfortable with because they didn't do anything in this whole situation. Jenna was just a child herself when all of this happened, and Cadence wasn't even born yet. And so he can't fault them at that. But, they just want to know how he is, what he's into, asking all these questions. And Naomi's just kind of smiling and sitting here because she wants him to have this moment. And Cadence goes, are you going to come back, before the wedding? Because they did sign on the wedding venue. It was their dream venue and they couldn't see themselves not signing on it. So they went ahead and did that. And they're like, yeah, well, maybe you can come back. You can come to the house and, meet Cadence's son and your nephew. And you guys can bring your daughter next time. And he's just like, oh, he's thinking to himself, this sounds great, but he doesn't know if he's ready for all of that. And they are just so hyped. They just can't stop talking. But Angela goes, well, here, I'll make you a promise. I will definitely try to come out here before the wedding. And Cadence is like, hey, all I want is to hear you say that you're going to try. And that's enough for us. And he's like, okay, I'll definitely try. Do they like affection? Yes. Oh, she's just telling him, you are going to love your nephew. He is just a spitfire. And Jenna's like, oh my gosh, yes, he is. He's a bit much, but she's like, who do you think he gets it from? And Angela's like, I can understand. I can be a bit of a handful sometimes. Just ask Naomi. But everything is going super, super well. This meeting couldn't have gone any better. I do think that Angelo is going to get up and he's going to take a photo with his sisters because he has to be able to show Alicia this, right? Like, you have two aunts, well, three technically. I haven't met the other one, but you have three aunts and a grandfather, which is crazy. We never thought that would happen, but he's going to grab some pictures with his sisters. We'll get one with Cadence and then we'll get one with Jenna. This is so wild to me. I can't believe I'm capturing this moment. So we have the first one here, and then we're gonna go ahead and grab one with Jenna also. Oh, she's so excited. She has been dying to meet her little brother for decades now. She cannot wait to make up for lost time. But let's grab this picture. He's like, oh my gosh, we do look alike. We do look alike. Now, you guys may not see it, but I see it. I 100% see it. The girls look a lot like their father. And the youngest one, Cadence, she has a lot of her mother's features as well, which you guys will see that whenever if we do come to that point where Angela wants to meet him, you guys will see that. But Angela also looks like a good balance between his mom and his dad. So yeah, but we're going to grab this picture. Oh my goodness. I can't believe we have sisters. Like, whatsoever. Like, this is crazy. But we are about to go because we do actually have a flight to catch. We are heading back home and we will be leaving Tartosa, which is so wild. But she asked if she can have a hug. You know, can I get a hug before you leave? It's just so crazy that you're here. And he's like, of course. You can't believe I'm meeting you guys either. And Cadence is like, I want a hug too. So we're gonna have to hop up and get a hug. And I think that Naomi is also just gonna hug everyone. Let's actually see. I don't know if she can yet. Oh, she can. Yes. Naomi's just been sitting here quietly being so supportive. We love that. But she's gonna hug the girls also. This has been so amazing. They're like, it's so nice to meet you, sweetie. She's like, it's nice to meet you guys too. I can't have her hug Cadence, which is very sad, but man, I really wanted her to be able to do that. It's okay. We'll just pretend she did. Oh, I love it. Oh my goodness, this is so great. I'm gonna let them wrap up conversation and I'll see you guys back in Copperdale. So we are officially back home from Tartosa and Angelo is up a little late this morning. Naomi is still sleeping in, as well as Miss Isabella. I think they're just a little jet lagged from the entire plane ride over. But Angelo really just wanted to get over here and start working on his computer. I got this want over here to write a bucket list goal, and I really can't help but feel like the reason he wants to do this is because he just met up with his sisters and there's all these new opportunities approaching him, and also just the idea of him potentially meeting his father. It's just got his mind thinking, you know, I really want to write a bucket list. It says knock out some life goals before dying, which hopefully won't be soon. So yeah, I think that just meeting his sisters has kind of got his mind in this state where he's like, yeah, I need to write a bucket list. So we're going to do that with Angelo now. We're going to go ahead and check bucket list because I haven't done this yet, believe it or not. And we can write a goal from category, or we can just write a goal. So I think I'm actually going to try to write a goal from the category. And the options that we have here is I want to get busy, I want to party, I want to adventure, I want success, I want a great family, I want to create, I want to travel, I want something else. And honestly, guys, I feel like I am really bouncing between I want something else and I want a great family, because essentially he doesn't know what exactly he's looking for with this whole goal of meeting his dad or anything. And so he wants a great family. So I think I'm going to go ahead and approach that one. And then I think I'm also going to have him write, I want something else. Now I feel like with all the click clacking on the computer, and Naomi can't help but just wake up from her sleep. She had a bad dream. She's feeling a little tense, and she notices that Angelo is over here just steadily typing on his computer. And she just looks over and she's like, a bucket list. And so I think that she's going to say, Angelo, are you okay? Let's have a deep conversation and just check in on him, make sure he's all right. And it says, Angelo is off to a great start in his soul's journey with the achievement. Angelo now gains extra satisfaction points. Okay. But he is feeling really accomplished after doing that. But yeah, she's just like, babe, is everything all right? And she's like, I saw that you were writing a bucket list. She's like, I didn't know that you were one to be into that sort of thing. Angela's like, you know, with meeting my sisters and possibly meeting my dad soon, I just felt like it was right. And he sits back down and she's like, well, baby, I completely wholeheartedly support that. You know, if that's something that you need to do, then go ahead and do it. And you know what? I'll write a bucket list too. Let's do it together. And I think that she's just really trying to check in on him, one. And two, she's just seeing where his head's at, especially after everything that's just transpired. And he's like, hey, you know, I'm actually thinking about redecorating the house too. And she's like, redecorating the house? I thought you were set on everything. And she's just wondering, like, is he okay? You know, because he has just really been different since the whole plane ride over. And I know it's not been that long, it's only been a few hours, but Naomi can tell when something is on her man's mind. And I think that he is just potentially bottling it up right now. You know, he's not really discussing it because does he even know what he wants to say? I know that I wouldn't have any idea of where to even start. So, they did tell him, hey, just consider meeting dad. If that's something you're up for, we'd love to help you arrange that. And so I think that he has really just been kind of fighting himself on that. What does he want to do? And that's where you guys are going to come into play. So I know you all are probably going to be sharing your thoughts and saying, oh, I think Angelo should either meet his dad or not meet his dad. But I do want you all to wait until you see the machinima, because there is so much more that we're going to be uncovering that could potentially change your thoughts and opinions. And speaking of which, I briefly touched on what happened between William and Isabella all those years ago. And it was on the lines of, she kind of came to Windenburg with the promise and the idea that she was going to be living with William and that he was going to be bringing her into his home. They were going to start a new life together and they were going to be really happy. And ultimately, he was never at the airport to pick her up, and she didn't hear from him for weeks, and she hasn't heard from this man up until this point in time now. And so Isabella is also very conflicted. Not that it is her choice for Angelo to meet his father, but I do think that because Angelo loves his mother so much and, she's been there for him, that he is trying his best to also consider her feelings, because this is going to bring up some history and some past and potentially even some trauma for even Isabella. So he just really wants to make sure that his mom is okay also. But we will be getting into even more in the next episode. I know you guys are like, oh my gosh, Naomi just came back, please don't do this to us. But I do have 2 more pre-recorded episodes for you guys, so don't worry, they're gonna be flying out the door every week. So just bear with me, but they are coming back, so no long break. You guys will see them again very, very soon. But I hope that you all enjoyed this first episode back. Again, wanted to keep it kind of lighthearted. We're going to be diving more into Isabella's history with William in the next episode. But yeah, in the next episode, we will be diving into Preston and Corey's updates, and also even Wade. Wade has some things to update the family on, but he is kind of feeling conflicted also. So we're going to be talking about a lot of people's past and also a lot of people's presents in the next episode. So stay tuned for that and get your notification bell on. That way you can be notified when I upload. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you aren't subscribed already to become a Tugboat. I love you guys so much, and I'm so happy to see this household back. I hope that you guys are too. But yeah, leave all your love and appreciation down below. I love you guys, and I will be talking to you all very, very soon. Bye, everyone.